At 3:07 a.m. on March 20th, 2022, a young woman's phone stopped moving. For nearly 15 minutes, it had been walking slowly, unevenly, along a remote service road deep inside Briarwood Forest, just outside Pine Haven, Tennessee. Its final GPS ping came from a small clearing surrounded by thick brush and fallen branches, a place so dark and isolated that even longtime residents rarely ventured there at night. When volunteers found the phone shortly after sunrise, it was lying beneath a rotting log, its screen cracked, its case dirty, and its battery still warm. But the woman who owned it, 7-year-old project coordinator Aaliyah Morgan, was gone. At first, investigators hoped she was alive somewhere in the forest. Her family held on to that same hope for days. The entire community spent weeks searching the woods and praying for answers. But as detectives traced her final steps, examined the digital evidence, and questioned the man she trusted, it became clear that what happened to Aaliyah was far more terrifying than anyone imagined. To understand the night Aaliyah disappeared, you have to understand who she was long before she became the center of a search effort. Born on August 3rd, 1994, in Nashville, Tennessee, Aaliyah grew up the oldest of 3 sisters in a close, loving household. Her mother, Monica Morgan, described her as compassionate, observant, and steady, the kind of person who put everyone else's needs before her own. Her father, Eric Morgan, said she had a way of calming a room just by walking into it. Aaliyah was the one people went to for advice, the one who wrote long, thoughtful birthday messages, the one who volunteered at youth mentorship programs even when life was busy. After graduating from Tennessee State University, she moved into a modest, 1-bedroom apartment in Pine Haven and took a project coordinator position at Eastbrook Advertising. She quickly became known as the team's dependable fixer, the person who quietly handled problems, soothed tension, and guided projects across the finish line. Her friends said she wasn't flashy, she wasn't dramatic, and she wasn't the kind of person who made enemies. She loved routines, soft R&B playlists, Sunday dinners with her family, and FaceTiming her sisters, Jade and Tiana, almost every night. Her life was stable, grounded, and peaceful until she met the man who would ultimately take everything from her. Aaliyah met Darius Holloway, a 1-year-old freelance audio technician, on October 16, 2021, at a birthday party thrown by her friend Imani Rivers. At first, Darius seemed unusually charming. He was attentive, charismatic, and immediately drawn to Aaliyah. He complimented her smile, asked about her dreams, and made her feel special in a way that surprised her. They exchanged numbers, and within days, they were talking constantly. Within weeks, they were inseparable. Darius left thoughtful notes on her windshield, brought her coffee before work, memorized her schedule, and acted like he adored her. Aaliyah believed she had finally met someone who genuinely cared, but her closest friend, Keisha Bryant, noticed something else, something harder to define. His affection felt intense, almost too intense, especially for a new relationship. Keisha brushed it off at first, hoping she was misreading things. She wasn't. The red flags showed up quietly, disguised as concern. On November 5th, Aaliyah mentioned she was going out to dinner with her coworkers. When Darius asked to join and she said it was a work event, he didn't respond for hours. Finally, he texted, "I guess I'm not that important to you." Aaliyah apologized, even though she hadn't done anything wrong. Soon after, he asked her to share her location for safety, and she agreed, thinking it was sweet. But then, he began questioning why she turned her location off during meetings. He became jealous of male coworkers and irritated when she interacted with male friends on social media. He told her to block an old classmate who liked one of her photos. By December, he wanted her social media passwords to protect her from weird men. Aaliyah laughed it off, but Keisha didn't. She told her something was off. Aaliyah insisted Darius was just insecure. She believed she could reassure him, help him heal, make things better. By Christmas Eve, the relationship had taken a darker turn. Darius joined the Morgan family for their annual holiday gathering, and several relatives immediately felt uneasy. Aaliyah's cousin later recalled Darius watching her constantly, his eyes following her across the room. When she laughed with her male cousin, Darius tensed. When her phone buzzed, he demanded to know who it was. After the gathering, her father Eric privately told her, "Baby, he doesn't look at you with love. He looks at you like he owns you." Aaliyah dismissed his concerns, saying he was just being protective. But by late January, she seemed more anxious and withdrawn. Keisha noticed she kept checking her phone, terrified to miss a message from Darius. On February 4th, she texted her sister Jade. He apologized again, says he's working on his issues. I want to believe him. By early March, even Aaliyah admitted she was thinking about ending things, but wanted to wait until after a big work project was completed. She never got the chance. Friday, March 19th, 2022, began like any other day. Aaliyah worked from 8 a.m. to nearly 7 p.m., helping her team finalize a last-minute advertising campaign. Security cameras captured her leaving the office at 6:54 p.m., tired but smiling. She drove straight home, arriving shortly after 7:20 p.m. At 8:06 p.m., Darius showed up at her apartment unannounced. Neighbors later reported hearing raised voices around 9:10 p.m. and again around 10:05 p.m. At 11:11 p.m., Aaliyah sent her sister a text. "I'm okay. We're just talking through some stuff." That was the last message anyone received from her. At 11:47 p.m., her phone left the apartment. At 12:21 a.m., it traveled along Route 41 toward Briarwood Forest. At 2:43 a.m., it entered the woods. At 3:07 a.m., it stopped moving forever. When Aaliyah didn't show up for brunch with her mother the next morning, her family immediately knew something was wrong. Aaliyah was never late, never unreachable, never inconsistent. After dozens of unanswered calls, her mother Monica dialed 911 at 11:34 a.m. Officers arrived minutes later. Inside Aaliyah's apartment, they found her purse, wallet, keys, laptop, and second phone charger. Nothing suggested she had left willingly. Darius told responding officer Deshaun Tate that Aaliyah needed space after an argument and that he left around midnight. But detectives Marcus Rollins and Ayanna Briggs, assigned later that afternoon, quickly became suspicious. Why did her phone end up in the woods? Why did Darius's timeline keep shifting? And why had Darius's phone been turned off from 12:12 a.m. to 3:31 a.m., the exact window in which Aaliyah vanished? Search teams followed Aaliyah's GPS data into Briarwood Forest. At 3:56 p.m., they found her phone under a log. Near it were scuffed leaves, disturbed soil, and faint drag marks. Aaliyah's delicate silver necklace lay broken a few feet away, but Aaliyah herself was nowhere to be found. Investigators focused on Darius immediately. His story changed repeatedly. His answers were evasive. He cried without tears. And when detectives searched his background, they uncovered a history he had successfully hidden from Aaliyah. A restraining order from 2016, a domestic violence complaint in 2018, a stalking accusation in 2019 that the victim later withdrew, and another protective order filed in 2020 from a woman who claimed he monitored her windows and followed her to work. Aaliyah had known none of this. On March 27th, detectives searched Darius's silver Ford Fusion. In the trunk, they found pine needles, a muddy boot print matching the forest floor, zip ties, and a small amount of blood later confirmed to be Aaliyah's. They also found a torn piece of blue fabric matching the jacket she wore that night. It was enough to arrest Darius for kidnapping and evidence tampering, but investigators still didn't know where Aaliyah was. The answer came nearly a month later. On April 18th, a volunteer found a torn piece of blue fabric snagged on a branch deep in the forest. Search dogs quickly alerted nearby. At 4:47 p.m., they discovered a shallow grave under a cluster of fallen trees. Inside was Aaliyah. The medical examiner, Dr. Patrice Ellington, reported blunt force trauma, rope abrasions on her wrists, defensive wounds, and DNA under her fingernails matching Darius. Aaliyah had fought until her last breath. Dr. Ellington estimated she died between 3:15 and 3:40 a.m., the moment her phone stopped moving. The trial of State of Tennessee versus Darius Holloway began on January 16, 2023. Prosecutor Jamal Whitford presented an overwhelming case: GPS evidence, digital messages, the broken necklace, the blood in the trunk, the fabric, eyewitness accounts, and a heartbreaking voicemail Aaliyah accidentally recorded during the struggle. The defense, led by Clarissa Monroe, claimed the death was accidental, but jurors didn't believe it. After 3 hours of deliberation, they found Darius guilty on all charges, including first-degree murder, kidnapping, and aggravated stalking. Judge Leonard Hayes sentenced him to life without parole. Darius showed no remorse. Aaliyah's family refused to let her story end in tragedy. In May 2023, they founded the Aaliyah Morgan Foundation for Safer Relationships, dedicated to helping people recognize early warning signs of controlling partners, offering legal resources, digital safety education, and emotional support. Her sister Jade now speaks publicly, telling audiences, if something feels wrong, don't ignore it. Trust your instincts. They might save your life. Her mother keeps Aaliyah's repaired silver necklace on her nightstand as a reminder of the daughter she lost and the lives they hope to save in her honor. Aaliyah trusted the wrong person, and like too many others, she paid the ultimate price for someone else's obsession. Jealousy is not love. Control is not care. Monitoring is not protection. If Aaliyah's story moved you, and if you'd like more deep, empathetic, investigative true crime documentaries, please comment, like, and subscribe. Not just for the algorithm, but to help ensure stories like Aaliyah's are never forgotten.